All right, y'all, we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business today. Gonna see if it's Google search, local and city Google search, has BSS, yes or no. So we're back here in the GBC universe, taking decline in boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More about that, pin video, whatever, home video, somewhere around here. This is because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So over on the left here, we got the highest intent peeps, in the white here. The highest intent peeps. These are the Google searchers, the social searchers. They're searching for a boudoir photo shoot in their city. So when they're doing that in their city, that's closest to the money, fastest conversions, and that's what we want. Over on the right, we got the lowest intent peeps, which people who are not searching for boudoir photography right now, or boudoir photo shoot in their city right now, and most of the time have no idea what the heck boudoir even is. And we deal with that with our sister brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, where we talk about BLCS. But over here, we talk about BSS, and all right, so let's see what that is. All right, so BSS is boudoir search sameness. This is when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. 0 is terrible, that means we're on page 2 or deeper, and we already know approximately 80% of all Google searches never even hit page 2. So page 1 only searches, and as a result, if we're on page 2, we're invisible and our business will be failing pretty fast. Also, if we only got 1 slot on page 1, there's 10 organic slots on page 1. If we got 1 of them, guess what? We're being compared. A buyer, they're just going to click through everyone. Since we all look the same, we all got 1 link. A buyer simply going to be clicking through everyone on page 1, and approximately 80% chance they never even go to page 2. And so their filling everyone's contact form and price shopping everyone, negotiating, getting the best deal possible for themselves, and it's really the race to the bottom at that point. So boudoir search saying is bad. And 0 or 1 slots on page 1 Google is actually not normal. It's accepted, it's common, but it's not normal. It's actually a symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And those 2 deeper root causes are 1, market saturation, which basically everyone knows about. People get a new gear, new iPhone, new camera, and they're throwing up their Google Maps profile saying they're shoot boudoir. They're shooting, throw up their websites saying they shoot boudoir, and also, posting in the Mon groups saying they shoot boudoir. So market saturation, more sellers for the same number of buyers makes it harder for every single seller. That's the basis of it. Now, the second one, which basically nobody knows about, is the false belief of page 1 equality. So page 1 equality was something that's kind of always been accepted, kind of automatically without people think about it. It's, just assume and accepting, every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. And as a result, maybe I was on page 1, and someone else came and ranked above. Okay, it pushed me down to page 2, but that's what happens. That's the game, and I gotta hope they delete their website and Google stops indexing them so hopefully Google picks me to go back on page 1. Nope, 100% incorrect. It's a false belief, because what I've learned is that Google will actually give as many page 1 slots to the business that wants them and puts in the work to acquire them, puts in the effort to acquire them. And I know that because I went from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google to 9 out of 10 page 1 slots on Google in only 10 days, because I wanted them. So I wanted those slots, so put in the effort to take those slots. So now we actually have a case study showing that the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief. Next, we know that boudoir photographer with BSS, boudoir search sameness, is a disappearing boudoir photographer, a DBP. So, if we're on page, if we're got 0 slots on page 1, obviously we're disappearing, because we're on page 2 or deeper, and approximately 80% of the market will never even see us. And if we got 1 slot on page 1, we're essentially invisible, being price shopped to death. Just really spinning our wheels, wasting our time, so disappearing as well. And it's kind of the canary in the coal mine, the warning light, warning light on our dashboard. check engine light saying, hey, you're disappearing. And that means the boudoir photography business is also on a path to disappearing. So this is, that's why we like, the local search and the city search, so we can see kind of what path is our boudoir photography business on. But now, thankfully, finally, thank the universe, we now have a solution. We have figured out that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S cubed methodology. And it works exactly as the name says. We saturate social search, search on social media sites with the highest intent keywords, and we show up there, take as many slots as possible, and this kind of like it's like the backside of the Andes down in South America, where the snow is melting, goes into small streams, small rivers, and eventually it all collects into the large Amazon River. The Amazon River is page one on Google, so we basically got to seed our Amazon River way at the top of the Andes with our social search saturation. And this is the only solution for boudoir photographers that I've seen that can actually successfully still enable a business to grow, have the possibility of growing in the face of more and more and more market saturation in a relatively quick time frame. The only other second option that exists is brand, building a massive known brand. But dude, that takes 5 to 10 years. We ain't got 5 to 10 years. AI's here taking people's jobs, forcing more people to become boudoir photographers because everyone's got a camera or a smartphone with awesome cameras, and people still need to earn money even though AI is taking their jobs. So we ain't got 5 to 10 years to make a brand. So SQ methodology kind of allows us to shortcut that a little bit. Well, at least by getting, on page one of Google. And by my estimates, it actually enables a brand to actually grow a brand at, my estimate is 8x as fast. Kind of 8x speeded up. That's an estimate though, just because it'll be on so many surfaces, just for passive, content kind of consumption on social media, but we'll be dominated on surfaces for social search and Google search. So my estimate is it'll speed up brand building 8x. And imagine got a well-known brand and you're still executing SQ methodology to make sure nobody in your city can ever touch you. I mean, it's ultra powerful. Now, here's an example of SQ methodology kind of enabling a business to still grow in the face of massive competition. Imagine we got a million boudoir photographers in Denver, Colorado, aka Denver. And we're one of them. We got, everyone's got their websites and they do boudoir photo shoots. Everyone's trying to rank page one on Google. And we're like, all right, to compete here, the only solution we got here is S-cubed methodology. So we crank that up to the max. And let's say we saturate the first, 300 slots on page one of Google, or no, first 300 slots for the highest intent keywords across all social search. So now any time of boudoir buyer searching those high intent keywords on social search, we pop up. Then that flows onto Google, and let's say we got the first 300 slots on Google. There's 10 organic slots per page, so we're taking up the first 30 pages on Google. And basically, none of our competitors are being seen until, someone scrolls down to the 301st position or goes to page 31 on Google organic search. Then, if we're basically the only one peeps can find, they keep seeing us, they keep seeing us, they keep seeing us. Then it's basically inevitable. We're going to be the only ones growing, and all the other boudoir photographers are going to be shrinking, disappearing, going out of business, going invisible. So, yeah, SQ methodology is the only solution I've seen that allows boudoir photographers to, gives them a chance to continue to grow in the face of massive market saturation. Now, once treated with S-cubed methodology, we have page one visibility and kicking competing boudoir photographers off page one, effectively making them invisible. So it's kind of a second initial benefit. First initial benefit, obviously, we're getting more slots page one on Google. Second initial benefit is we're actually kicking our competitors off of Google in our city and making them essentially invisible, becoming disappear, and making their business eventually disappear. Because we know approximately 80% of Google searches never hit page two. They're page one only searches. Now, page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. So for this, the GBC universe recommends a minimum of 3 out of 10 page one slots on Google. That's because if everyone else got one slot, we got 3, we're dominating them. And the off chance, the super rare chance someone has 2, which is ultra rare, we're still dominating them. So we're basically dominating everyone in all scenarios. And a boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. So we got our micro universe here, a disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness. It's caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. Thankfully, yes, I think the universe, we do finally have a solution, S-cubed methodology, that we achieve page 1 visibility and become visible boudoir photographers with boudoir search visibility. All right, so now into my results using S-cubed methodology. I wanted to dominate the keyword for BLCS boudoir, and I exclusively used S-cubed methodology to get these current results. So we did this for organic search, obviously. It's for ranking in organic search. Let's go to the organic slots. So we got organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google in only 10 days, purely using S-cubed methodology. And after the main event here, I'm going to see if this boudoir photography business has, we're going to see if it has BSS for its one lone Google search here. Looks like we combined local and city. Search for this one. All right. So here we go, Goshen, Indiana. All right, they got 1 slot, 2 slots. All right, 2 out of 10 slots. All right. So BSS is not present, but they did not hit the recommended minimum of the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 Google page 1 slots. But hey, at least I don't have BSS. That's kind of the first thing we got to solve. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer and you've done your local search or city search for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords, and you're seeing for any of those, local or city or any of the keywords, you got BSS, or you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum, 3 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search, and you actually you're looking at all the highest intent keywords, and you're seeing that the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief. You're seeing Google actually give us as many page 1 slots on Google search as we want. And you're seeing that S-cubed methodology is the only solution forward, the only solution to have enough links where there's enough flow through to Google to actually put us on page 1. And you understand the market saturation. Yeah, people get new gear, market becomes more saturated. And you're also seeing that you're looking ahead to AI. And while you like the initial benefits to S-cubed methodology, more links page 1 Google search, more, basically more kicking other boudoir photographers off page 1. Google search is actually your favorite. You're competing with boudoir photographers, but you're looking at AI taking people's jobs right now. You know it's going to get better, so it's simply going to take more and more people's jobs into the future. And as a result, you're actually going to, a new flood of boudoir photographers is going to be entering the marketplace. So you actually realize you not only need the links, dude, you actually need to fortify your position on page 1. Literally like fortifying the levees down in Nolens, Louisiana, because that city's below sea level. You gotta have so many links on page 1, so many links Google wants to rank for you on page 1 that there's not enough slots, so they relegate you to start filling up pages 2, 3, and 4 to basically guarantee no other competing boudoir photographer currently can essentially ever rank on page 1, nor any any future competing boudoir photographer who comes into the marketplace because they took their job basically ever has a chance to rank on page 1 either. So you want to prevent both those scenarios. And you're seeing again, S-cubed methodology is the only solution that can give that many links to, super fortify you. And you want to achieve page 1 visibility. You want to become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. And you do not, and you need these things in order to become, on your path to become the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. And you're liking the future benefits of S-cubed methodology because you understand it well. Basically building these invisible thematic keyword columns. Having the back in cyberspace, these columns that are plugged in to the kind of this cloud of you, your business name, your brands, your social handles, your website, everything kind of about your business, plugging in these invisible thematic keyword columns, kind of building up this back-end AI keyword mindshare that's invisible. And every day we successfully execute SQ methodology and build this up, we're actually increasing the probability we're going to show up here at the top of AI overview for search in our city. And as a result, this is the highest, the highest probability, the most premium placement, the highest tier placement we got here, and cannot pay for it. It's all organic. And SQ methodology, highest probability of giving us this. And also, that same probability recommended here, increase in probability that we show up in all the AI search apps. So, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini. We're increasing the probability we show up in all of these. And this is important because AI search is getting bigger every single day. Every single day, every single day, every single day. And standard Google search decreasing every single day. And last time I did an AI search for Boudoir photographer in a city, I used ChatGPT. It recommended me 3. I actually then went to do a manual search in that city with Google standard search and search on Facebook. And dude, I found like 60. It's like, man, we got to find any way to get, recommended these AI searches if there's only 3 slots available, because that's so many eyeballs for us. And again, SQ methodology is the only strategy that is given these invisible thematic keyword columns, kind of building it up in the back end. So you're liking these feature benefits. You're also liking the feature benefit of SQ methodology can help build a large, well-known brand approximately 8x faster than all the other standard methods out there. You also understand and like that my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city. And as a result, you're actually able to get all these benefits and kick your competitors off and prevent them from using these benefits at all. And you're basically able to kind of build up a kind of a moat, kind of a large gap with the back-end AI keyword mindshare that we're going to be doing to be recommended these AI apps higher and higher and higher probability out into the future. And building up a massive gap to where basically your competitors, the gap could be big enough where they could never catch you. So that's why you've decided to be first mover advantage in your city. Can hop on this first because you understand the converse. If one of your boudoir photographers competitors actually signed up to use this first, then you'd be locked out of this. They'd be getting all these slots page 1 Google search, kicking you off page 1 Google search, and then it'd be relegated to page 2 or deeper. You would be building up that massive AI mindshare for them and their brand, and you'd be stuck in the dust. We're building up a massive gap, larger and larger every single day against you to be recommended AI search. And as a result, in order for you to compete, you would actually have to rederive SQ methodology on your own, which means you'd actually have to drive it first in the first place. And since you've never derived it before, you would actually have no idea if you've derived it correctly, yes or no. But then you'd have to execute equal to us every single day. And even if you did all that, well, all you've done is you're maintaining the gap that me and your competitor already have ahead of you. So to close on that gap, you'd actually have to increase your effort and do like 2 to 3x what we do every single day to close that gap. But you're not even confident you've derived the technology, the strategy correctly in the first place. So probably wouldn't even feel confident putting in that much time and effort to do all these things. And like, dude, who's even got 80 hours to do all this stuff? So you're like, yeah, you've decided, yeah, you're simply gonna be the first mover here and not wait because this is too good of an opportunity to pass up. So if that's you, shoot us a DM. Our hospital is currently closed for new patient intake, but when we do open the hospital back up again for new patient intake, shoot us a DM and we will see if you qualify to utilize our S-cubed methodology.